Let's talk about Wizards Unite's clarification of the trace charm and how it's supposed to work, and start working on our bonus assignment. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
Let's get right to what's happening with the trace charm right now, because that's really probably the biggest news that came out yesterday. And it started with a at the community.harrypotterwizards forum, and it was from Harry Potter Wizards Unite Lola, who is kind of the front-facing. So she's not the one that caused any of this. She's just the one that ends up coming out and communicating it to on social media and with us. So kind of don't harm the messenger type thing. But anyway, she put, our team has been investigating errors in the SOS training skill tree. Thank you for your bug reports, number of incorrect stats and descriptions. So things that we thought were the way the trace charm worked, it doesn't work that way. And I guess most importantly, it's proficiency. Right here, she even kind of put a description of when you maximize everything, like where would you end up? So at traces revealed, it would be 8. So you can make it up to 8, and that would be efficacy. If you get your efficacy up to 8 on trace charms, it will produce 8 traces. So if you copy something, you'll get 8 of something. Trace charm capacity up to 5. So up to 5 like spots that you can do it. So 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. You could hold 5 at one time. Both of those exactly kind of how we have been playing it and how we've expected it and how it's been working. So that's not been a problem besides them disappearing and that type of thing. In the end, they will work the way we thought they would work. It's the next part right here. This is the big one. And it used to say additional energy provided in the actual trace charm screen. And that's been wrong for a while. But we initially thought it was additional fragments provided. And we thought when you raise your proficiency up, each time you raised it up, that was another fragment you would get. In other words, if my proficiency was 5, I would get 5 fragments per charm per trace that I produce. So if I produced, I don't know, a bunch of McGonagalls, when I got 1 McGonagall, it would give me 5 fragments if my proficiency was 5. That is not the case. They only ever meant, and the thing is, we've thought it's been bugged because it's only been giving us 2. The one we're supposed to get and then 1 additional fragment, no matter what your proficiency was. But that is apparently the way it was intended to work. They just did not word it well enough. And the problem is proficiency does have 8 in it. When you get a proficiency of 8, you're still only getting 1 additional fragment, but you're getting an extra kind of 80%. Every proficiency is another 10% more family experience and wizarding experience when you return that trace. So it ends up being, take that trace's experience and multiply it by 1.8. So if it's worth 10 family experience for you, now it's worth 18 if your proficiency is 8. And 8 is the highest proficiency you can get. And then last is the rare trace thing, which you get early on, where you I guess it just gives you more rare traces, or it allows it to bump up a level. So if you do a severe, you get to emergency. At least that's how I've read it. Again, that one hasn't specifically been a problem. It's been the proficiency and the fragments. So they've already said now in this post, they're clarifying that we'll only ever get 1 additional fragment. It'll only be 2. Now the problem comes is that people invested restricted section books and other resources to unlock those proficiency nodes to get proficiency, because at that time it was worded and it appeared that it was going to be how many more fragments we get. But now that they've said this, those people can't go back. They've lost those resources. And that's where it's kind of created a bit of a problem, is that people feel justifiably like they used resources to do something and now they can't get them back, and it's never going to be the thing that they don't want the wizarding experience, and they don't need the family experience necessarily, because a lot of these are max level players with their registry further along, that they don't need that, they don't care about that. They were wanting the extra fragment. So beyond clarifying and knowing that people were not happy with it, they are giving us a complimentary gift. I'm not sure when it's coming out. Orange Wizard 2019 made this image, so this is on Discord right now, so I'm just looking at it. You can see they're going to give us 75 field guides, 20 ministry manuals, 2 Defense Against the Dark Arts books, 10 gold coins, and 3 level 3 Wonders of the Wizarding Weekend runestones, because of this past weekend when we had some trouble too. They're trying to kind of make up for that. Now, I guess the problem is, for a lot of people, they said this doesn't really give them back the resources that they spent. There's certainly no restricted section books there, and if they used Defense Against the Dark Arts books, it was probably more than 2. It was more than that, and right now everyone's kind of on the same footing, is that we haven't really been getting too many of them, so we're only so far along, and if you've spent them in one direction, there's another direction that's blocked from you and will be blocked for at least a little bit until you can gather that many more Defense Against the Dark Arts books back. For me personally, I guess I was just slow to spend my resources, so people had already talked about this 2-fragment bug at the time. We thought it was a bug where no matter what your proficiency was, you would only get 2 fragments. So in which case I was planning on doing the proficiency later, but I went ahead and started to advance other nodes and didn't advance those nodes because I figured, oh, if I'm not going to get the fragments, I'll wait until they fixed it. In this case, they didn't fix it. They clarified that's how it works. So for me, this will just be bonus stuff. I don't feel like I've used any right now, but I know for other people, they did use those resources. And it's probably, I didn't have a lot of restricted section books to get through that stuff. Other people did and then went ahead and spent them. That's the current state of the Trace Charm, where we are. I'm not sure when the complimentary gift is going to come out. It may be in the store right now. I'm about to head into the game with you to start working on the bonus assignments. But this complimentary gift will be coming out. If you wonder why we're getting it, this is why. It's because of the Trace Charm mainly. And if you haven't spent those resources yet with the Trace Charm, know that proficiency does not give you all those fragments. It's more about giving you more wizarding experience and family experience for whatever foundable you get the traces from the Trace Charm. Moving on, let's go ahead and look at where I am game state-wise and what I'm trying to do today with this session. So on the port keys, I actually just picked up another 1 kilometer. I had the space open, still looking for that paramount. I am at Bond Park, which is the big park, and mainly because I need those 45 brilliant foundables, slightly less. I've gotten a couple. But when I need a lot of foundables, I usually come here because it's a big park. And usually if you clear out an area of event spawns, it's better, instead of trying to wait for more to respawn, it's better to just move from area to area. So I picked a park that has just a lot of areas. Just a strategy for trying to get more foundables. Just be able to move from spawn area to spawn area if you have a big park where you live. So over at the special assignments, you can see 2,760 out of 10,000 wizarding experience. I'll get that as I go through the 45 brilliant foundables, so I don't need to specifically do that. And then I'm already at 16 out of 30 good spell casts, because if you do like 4 casts to catch something, to return a foundable, and all of them are good, you just got 4 for that. So that should go along pretty quickly. In fact, if you do a cast and you don't return the foundable, you can almost be thankful that you get to do it a couple more times and build that up. Not that you wouldn't have built it up anyway. But anyway, I'm at 3 out of 45, so I need 42 more. So my goal for today is to just try to get those 42, or at least get as far along as I can. I'll probably be out here for about an hour. It'll probably be about an hour I'm out here. A Barufios and a tonic, and then maybe another Barufios. And I might not even use all of it because I do have some work to do later. And again, at work, I may be able to open the game, may find some brilliance, but I find that the event spawns do not spawn in the area where I work. In addition to finding more foundables at a bigger park, for me, it's that port key situation where I'm trying to get that last paramount, which means I need to walk. So I just come to a bigger area with lots of trails so I can walk around. Anyway, let's go ahead and get cracking and returning these foundables. Rufio's just finished up and they got a fair number. I actually started with a ton spawning for me. Then I hit a patch where there was none. There was spawns around me, traces, just none of the event. And it was actually around 4 inns down by the water, actually, that you just saw a second ago. It was in that spot. There's 4 or 5 inns right there. No brilliant traces, all regular traces. So I just kept moving and managed to find another batch. So let's go ahead over to special assignments. So 31 out of 45, so only 14 left. 10,000 wizarding experience, of course, happened. I'm going to collect that spell book. And then the good casts, that happened pretty quickly because everything I encountered was at least a couple casts, and unless you really bomb it, you're going to get at least a good cast. So I ended up busting those out pretty quickly. So 14 more is what I need. It's about 4:11 right now. I'm not going to put another Rufios on because I need to leave here around 4:30. So that gives me 20 minutes about. So I don't want to waste 20 minutes of a Rufios. Half of my Rufios would be wasted if I left. So we're not going to put on a Rufios, but we are going to continue to try to grind. So I'm going to head back toward my car, which will take probably about 20 minutes of walking, stopping to catch and that type of thing. And let's see if we can make it to 45 before we get there. Oh, I also picked up another port key. I finished that port key, picked up another port key, and it wasn't a Paramount again. So we're continuing to walk and open that slot back up and try again. And I'm back to where we started this whole thing. So I'm at my port keys right now because I actually did walk off that other 1 kilometer I just picked up, and then picked up a new port key, and it was a precious port key. So now I've got 2.5 kilometers to walk before I can pick up another one and hope for that Paramount. Anyway, backing out, I didn't get too many on the way over. I kind of lost count actually, but let's see where I am. Oh, 39 out of 45, so just 6 more to go. So honestly, by tomorrow, between just around my house, around work, even just driving home, stopping by the store, that kind of thing, I'm going to go ahead and guess I'll get these 6. I won't get them right now, obviously, but we'll get these 6 before tomorrow. So tomorrow's episode, we'll probably start out with that finished, collect that, and then move on to the wizarding challenges and finish up this event. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope the news about the trace charm helps you make decisions moving forward. If you already invested in those nodes, I am sorry that that happened to you, and I'm not sure if there's really no way they can make it up to you, and we'll just have to take that complimentary gift and just move forward. And I guess we'll all probably be more wary in the future when they bring out new things on spending any resources in anything, I suppose. All that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Knox.